Hey guys, so today we are going to go over whether or not I think Hafthor Bjornsson can break Daniel Bell's all-time total powerlifting record raw with reps, which I believe is 2606. So 2606.9 pounds is the all-time record in reps. Obviously, Jesus Oliveira just set the all-time world record without reps at about 2540, but with reps, 2606. So Hafthor, if we look back at his competition history, 24-25 he hit back in 2018 when he weighed 435 pounds, 197.5 kg. And now, looking at recent pictures, he's at 177 kilos, which is about 390 pounds, and he is looking jacked out of his mind and lean. So, this level of leanness at this weight is insane. He just looks amazing. Cap delts, traps are popping again. It looks huge. So clearly, everybody knows what happened. He kind of came off, or he came down to probably very low dose, had a kid, and now he's back on the full sauce, full blast. So his receptors were probably really sensitive at this point. If he really came off, or even at a low dose, he's probably just, the same could be said as far as going back on cycle. But he's clearly back on the full cycle, trend and everything. I'm sure trend's involved, but he's blowing up. He looks amazing. And he's basically, I don't know when the exact competition is, but he's gunning for that 2606 record, the all-time total record. And at the last meet with the 24-25, he hit a 970 squat in reps, a 551 bench, 250 kg there, and then a 904 deadlift, missing 948 with grip issues. So everybody's talking about, obviously, is he going to break the record? Can he do it? You see how his lifts are looking here. 420 kg squat, 925 pounds, and this moved pretty well. Obviously, this flew up. So you watch it there, just absolutely smoked it. That's about how an opener should look. Now, this is what he opened at his last meet, and he went on to try, let's see here, 1,014. Daniel Bell did 1,102 pounds, though. So it's still a considerable distance from Daniel Bell. Really, the two things it's going to come down to, if he breaks this record, or if he's able to, are he has to really push his squat. His squat has to be bordering on 500 kilos. If his squat is only even 1,050, I don't think the record is going to be there. So he's going to have a huge improvement on his squat and get up near the 500 kilo range to really have a chance. If he pulled a big enough deadlift, he potentially could, even get the record with the 1,050 squat, but basically 1,000 is not going to cut it. It's going to have to be 1,050 to 1,100 to keep pace with Daniel Bell. Because if you look at it here too, that was easy, but Dan Bell's bench is way above Thor's 600 compared to 551. So Thor recently did a 513 pound bench here, 232.5 kg. And it moved well, and this isn't even a competition pad. Look at how narrow the bench is and how low to the ground. So this is not an ideal setup at all. It's a non-competition pad. Not a really good setup. And he still made it, he makes this look comfortable. It's not bad. So you'll see here, this is the 513. So it moves smooth enough where 240, 529 pounds is probably there right now. But I don't see him going above about 573, 260 kg. That'd be a 10 kilo improvement over his last meet. And that would, that'd make it interesting there. But if let's say he got 1,050 plus 573, 1,623. So 1,623 subtracted from 2606 leaves us with 983. So he would have to hit a 983 deadlift to tie the record. If he were to hit 260 kg and a 1,050 pound squat. Now, if he squatted closer to 1,100, he'd only have to pull 933. So I think it really boils down to squat. If he can get his squat into that 1,050, 1,100 range, we probably are seeing the record broken. I mean, he's ramped it up aggressively here. Look at this. This was 380 kg only a week ago. So they're clearly like on a huge cycle right now. And they're aggressively going up. I mean, now as fast as can be. Comparing that to the 420, the 925 pounder, this one's not that much slower. So I have to think the next one they're going to do is a 440, which is about 973 pounds. Depth was close on that one, but that moved just as fast as the 380. So the squat's blowing up, and if we see a 440 speed squat, 975 pounds, I mean, that should put him in a good spot to have a shot at the 1,050. Even with the 1,050 and the 573, it's going to come down to deadlift then. And what's the problem with deadlift? Thor obviously has better strength overall than Dan Bell on deadlift. I mean, we're watching here 772, which this is like warm-up weight at that level. Very smooth reps. But it's going to come down to grip. So I think the number one thing, I think Thor can do it. I think he can pull it together and get a huge squat in that 1,050 range and then bench the 573. I think he can do all that. It's going to come down to his grip. Can he hold on to the bar? Because that was the problem last time. We saw at the last meet that he did. It was 100% grip issues that held him back. This was 870 pounds at the Rogue event, and it was pretty hard. But he's already much stronger than this. This was a month ago. His strength has ramped up big time. So I think really it's going to come down to just, can he get a big enough squat to kind of close the gap on Dan? And then can he outpull him? Because he'll have to outpull Dan's deadlift by about 80 pounds, I'd say, to be able to do it, which I think he's more than capable of. I mean, Dan's the better bencher. Thor's the better deadlifter. And as of now, Dan's the better squatter. So deadlift is where he's going to have to win this thing. This level of strength clearly is not going to cut it, but obviously he's got a lot of time on his side, and he has to get that grip in order. If there's any grip issues whatsoever, this isn't happening. And that's where I would say is the biggest concern. Because if he had grip issues with 948 at the last meet, 983 is a significant uptick. He has to be around that 1,000-pound deadlift range to be able to do this. So I know he's got a good coach, Australian strength coach. He's been working with him for all his meets in the past. But I just hope that they are really training grip hard, because that's going to be a massive mistake if they're not doing a lot of direct grip work. That's going to be where this whole thing falls apart. I don't care if you do all your reps on deadlift without straps. Even without straps, it's still not going to be enough to get you to that level of grip strength to where you can hold 1,000 pounds. It's going to take targeted, direct grip work to get there. I mean, here we're watching the 683. This was from almost 2 months ago. So he's ramping this up very, very aggressively. And I'll be curious to see. I'm sure the next pull will be 410 kilos, not 04. And we'll have to see how the grip looks there. But the grip looked fine with that in the meet. It's really over that range where I think there could be problems. And the other big thing for Thor is all of his massive deadlifts were with straps. Well, now he's going to be doing deadlifts with mixed grip, which causes the bar to kind of kick out on you on that underhand side. So as the weights get heavier, you kind of saw it on the 871, the weight kicks out away from him on that right side, the underhand side. So that's something that you have to combat as well as the weight ramps up here. So can he do it? I think he can do it. I don't know when the exact time frame is on the meet, like I said. But the squat, I think, is going to go well. I think bench, he'll be around 573. And then it's going to be a toss-up. It's all going to come down to grip. If he can hold on to the bar, he's going to be okay. Obviously, he'll smash the record at that point. Like if you said right now he could use straps, he'd smash the record. I believe it, 100%. Without straps, it's dicey. But like I said, I would do double overhand static holds. Just literally take a double overhand grip, no hook grip, and hold the bar off the pins in the squat rack and hold it for as long as you can. Do that a couple days a week, and then captains of crush grippers for crush training. because those help a lot too. Doing heavy singles where you're just squeezing it as hard as you can for as long as you can. Probably in his instance, like a 3.5 captains of crush. If they do all that and take care of it, I think it could fall, but we'll have to see and stay tuned.